You must have seen the Instagram version of autism. You know, the one with the quirky traits, the talents, and the unique perspective on things. But that's not always the full picture. The reality? Autism weaves itself into every single part of daily life, and not always in ways you can see. When you live with autism, it's not just something that shows up at certain situations. It's a constant lens through which the world is experienced. It can affect how people wake up, how they have breakfast, and how they get through the day. Take something like getting dressed. So, for a lot of typical people, it's quick and it's a routine. But for an autistic child, the textures of their clothing, the tightness of the socks, or even a slightly itchy tag can feel unbearable. And that's a battle even before you've left the bedroom. Then there's transitions, moving from one activity to another. For most people, it's just, okay, we're done with this, let's move on. However, for an autistic person, that switch can feel abrupt and jarring. It's not stubbornness, it's neurological. Their brain needs more time to process change. Sensory processing plays a huge role too. So imagine trying to focus in a supermarket where the lights are too bright, the music is loud, there's beeping at the tills, or someone's trolley squeaks with every push. That's everyday life for many autistic people. Recently, I had to take my son to a routine dental appointment, and for us, it's never straightforward. And I think for me, it's about intense planning just for a 10-minute appointment. It's the, okay, how long is it going to take me to get there? I don't want to get there too early because if I have to wait in the waiting room, he's going to become unregulated, he's not going to keep still, and he may just have a meltdown. And I also don't want to go late because then I'll be anxious and we may not be able to be seen. Am I able to explain to the new dentist that has taken over that my son is non-speaking and he's prone to biting? Are they used to dealing with neurodiverse children? And I do have to say, thankfully, that they are. The dentist is absolutely fantastic. She's patient. She's able to play with him and try and distract him. I am very much having to sit in the dentist chair myself with my son on my lap just to give him that comfort. But we are able to get through that appointment. And it just makes you think that, I can use the social stories which do help, but not everything is straightforward. And it's not just the challenges. Autism can shape daily life in beautiful ways. The joy that comes from routine, the comfort that they get from familiar places, the way a special interest can light someone up from inside. But those strengths only shine when the environment allows them to. Living with autism or parenting or caring an autistic child means constantly balancing understanding, patience, and problem solving. I was just thinking recently that I have got immense patience for my son, sort of, to the moon and back. Not that I let him get away with things, but I just have to remember that I have to parent him differently. I have to wait when I give him instructions. And I explained in a previous video about, my child not sort of reacting to me or responding to me, that many occasions I just have to repeat instructions until he gets to a stage where he's understanding. He's listening to everything, he has heard it, but he's just going to need time. So if you have to repeat something over and over and over again until your child finally understands that, then do that. It's not just about the diagnosis. It really is about the lived experience every single day. As I said, it's not giving in to the child or spoiling them. It's understanding and choosing your battles wisely. I've now come to the conclusion that my son may not be able to sit around the table with us and have a meal. My priority is ensuring that he eats. And I have explained on a previous video that my son has a restricted diet, and he maybe has about 5 or 6 safe foods. So me worrying about him sitting round the table, sitting up, using his knife and forks, that's not a priority to me. My priority is making sure that he's nourished as much as possible. And if it means that he takes a spoonful of his wheat biscuits and then he goes into the back room and he jumps on his trampoline and then he runs back to me and then he might want to take a spoonful himself and he just does that until the duration of his meal, then trust me, I'm absolutely happy with that. Okay, so I really, really do pick my battles. I have to prioritize what is in my son's best interest. Now, if you're a parent who feels like you're learning as you go, you're not alone. I offer a coaching program that gives you tools, strategies, and understanding to support your child with confidence. And you can find that information in the link below.